The ASI token launch is on the 15th, but on Binance already on the. We'll talk about it, and we'll talk about SingularityNet updates and all the other things that are going on in the decentralized AI and AI space. And with that being said, welcome everybody. Great to see you here. Let's jump right into it and then talk about a bit other stuff later on. But first of all, let's get into this here. And if you are not on X and if you're not following the ASI Alliance on X and all the other SingularityNet, Ocean, Fetch, and listen to the X spaces, I highly recommend you do so because there's really a lot of valuable information in there. Well, of course, you watch your weekly update and you get the information right in here in the stream. But yes, this is right from the X space they did, I think about 5 days ago. And here's what Humayun said about the merger, the exchanges, and everything. Now, it's a little bit, we talked about this a couple of times, but just as a recap for everybody here.
We are working very closely with as many exchanges as we can, especially the main ones. We are very confident that we will give you clear instructions how to do and what to do. At this point in time, that if you're on an exchange, there will be a period where the exchanges will do the swap for you. That is the process we're following with most exchanges. I mean, I can't say about every single exchange because they have their different methodologies and their different timescales, but we intend that, and that is one of the reasons we wanted to make sure that we have given them enough time to actually do this, do the whole merger and do the token swap. So, and the contract swap effectively, we will make sure that they will support as much as we can.
So yes, the exchanges will do the swap for you. They are in contact with all the big major exchanges. Now, exchanges have their own schedules, their own timelines. So it's maybe not guaranteed on the 15th, maybe it's on the 16th or whatever. And they also cannot make sure that they're really in contact with every little small exchange there is, because there are really a lot of small exchanges out there that no one has ever heard about, and they trade tokens for some reason. But if you are on a bigger exchange or on a medium exchange or whatever, an exchange that anyone has heard about, you are basically pretty much safe. Now, again, the merger was delayed because the exchanges are not ready and they need to prepare more. And this is what he just confirmed right there. And the exchange, the technical side of the swap is ready. So technicals, all of that is ready. It's just for exchanges to prepare, which brings me to this announcement here, which the ASI Alliance announced on the X page. So follow them on X. And also Binance announced that Binance will actually merge the tokens 10 days early on the 5th. They will not wait for the 15th. So this is the official Binance announcements here. And as you can see, Binance will support the Fetch AI Ocean protocol and SingularityNet token merger. And if we scroll down here, generally at the 1st of July, deposits and withdrawals of Fetch, Ocean, and SingularityNet will be suspended at the 1st of July. Why is that early if the merger is on the 15th? Well, let me tell you why. The reason is because already at the 5th of July, trading will open for the ASI BNB, ASI BTC, ASI BRL, and quite a few other ASI trading pairs, spot trading pairs. Here also, of course, ASI USDC and ASI USDT. So already on the 5th. And this is 10 days early. And then furthermore, also important to note here, Binance Futures will close all positions and conduct an automatic settlement on the Fed USD, Ocean USD, and AGIX USDT contracts on the 25th, right? On the 25th of July, so in 6 days. Make sure that all your positions on Binance are where you want them to be, are clear by then, because then futures will be closed. But yes, if you have your tokens on Binance, or maybe you want to buy into tokens on Binance real quick, because you will have the ASI token and you will be able to trade with the ASI token way earlier than everybody else, 10 days earlier. And this is quite huge. And this is a great step for Binance, but it also shows the strengths of the ASI Alliance and the ASI tokens. So why is that? My guess is that Binance is just a very strong supporter, and they are kind of the biggest exchange in crypto. Right? They are at the forefront of crypto. They've always been the pioneers. Binance is basically the original crypto exchange. So it makes sense that Binance gets to trade these tokens first. And if we look at this other brief news article here, we can also see a few things in here. So Binance will launch trading of the ASI token ahead of the merger. In a bold move, cementing its leadership within the crypto universe, Binance announced the launch of the ASI token trading starting July 5th. Now, this is just incredibly bullish to me because it just shows how much sentiment is behind the ASI token. Because if Binance, the biggest exchange in crypto, wouldn't believe in the strength of the ASI token, they would not want to trade this before everyone else. So to all the whiners and naysayers and all the people who cry that it got delayed, chill out, okay? Everything is going great, as you can see in stories like this. Chill out. Everything is going great. By unifying their strength, FedOcean and AGIX are set to give birth to a new powerhouse in the realm of decentralized artificial intelligence. Consequently, by allowing ASI token trading even before the merger is finalized, Binance strategically positions its crypto users at the forefront of this announced revolution. Moreover, this proactive decision by Binance demonstrates the platform's confidence in the ASI token's potential, right? This is what I just said. The platform's confidence in the ASI token's potential, because if they would be confident that this token is going to do great, why would they want to trade it 10 days ahead of the actual merger? Binance sends a strong signal to the market about the strategic importance of this merger for the future of AI-oriented crypto. And again, for me, this is incredibly bullish. And as you can see, the technical details, all about that is already in place. The only thing why the merger got delayed is to give the exchanges more time, because the exchanges are a little bit slower, so they can fit into their schedules and their timelines. So nothing bad there. Everything is going great. And Binance trading the ASI token already on the 5th. So congratulations to everybody having their tokens on Binance for the swap. You get a head start. You can maybe even open your futures positions beforehand. Now, I have no idea what's going to happen, right? It might be a sell the news event. We'll see, at least in the short term. In the long term, definitely not. Of course not. I strongly believe in the fundamentals. But in the short term, it can always be a bit unpredictable. All right. And yeah, that about this already token trading on Binance. And now a few people streaming in, coming into the stream here. Hi there, everybody. Shout out to all of you. Shout out to the chat. Shout out to the people who are here always. Where are you? Where are my people? Where are you, Nani? Where are you, Carlo? Where are you, Brandon? Where are you, Judy? Where are you? What is going on? There you are, Nani. Hi, there. All right, good to see you over here. And Robert Nathan, a well-explained video for Binance exchange holders. Thank you very much, Philip. A good job done. Thank you very much for your comment, and you're most welcome. Thank you for finding your way to my channel, to my video. I'm glad that I could help you. And how are you doing, guys? How are you doing, people? I hope you're having a great day. I hope you're excited for everything about to come for decentralized AI, the ASI Alliance, and crypto in general. Did you enjoy my my BitTensor video, by the way. If you have not watched it, I highly recommend you going over there and watching it, because I am pretty sure we all here on this channel love decentralized AI projects. Of course, we love the ASI Alliance, but we hate crypto tribalism. Fighting each other in crypto projects is the worst we can do, because like this, we are just weakening ourselves. We should all work together and be excited for each other's developments. So I personally really like BitTensor. If you have not watched this video yet, go over there. Here, as you can see, BitTensor Tau decentralized ChatGPT. It's another decentralized approach at AI development, not AGI development, though, not AGI development, but AI development. So I would highly love you going over there. Also, and this test has been working very well quite a couple of times with you, my audience. So I love you for that. With a few videos, I told you, hey, go over there, please give it a like, watch it, give me watch time, because what happens is that the YouTube algorithm says, oh, if his subscribers watch this video, it might be a good video. Let me show it to more people. And actually, it worked quite a few times, and I got over 1,000 views from right around 50. And as you can see, this is exactly where we are right now, 50 views. So I'm sure if you now go over there, not now, but after the live stream, watch the video and give it a like, it will be pushed out to more people. And yeah, we can draw more people into the decentralized AI development space, which is what in the end we all want. All right, good. But enough pushing for my own videos. Let's move into further stuff of the ASI Alliance here. And of course, let me know your questions in the chat. I am here to answer everything, as you know. Now, let's go into a few more things from the X space. And again, I highly recommend you follow the X account of the ASI Alliance. This is the Artificial Superintelligence Alliance. Just to make sure you follow the right account, you just go here, and it has a golden check mark. But even more important, you can tell that this is the official account and not a scam account by clicking here on following. And then you can see it's followed by, or it's following Singularity DAO, or even more important, actually not who is following, but its followers are, I don't see them right away, so I recommend you follow all of them. But as you can see here, it's followed by Rejuve Bio, Singularity Net, Singularity Net Ambassadors, Fetch AI, Ocean, and all these other ones. So yeah, go over there to make sure and look into that to make sure you're not getting scammed on X. But enough being said, let's briefly listen into what Humayan has to say here about the Fetch mainnet migration, which we've also talked about before on this channel. But again, I repeat it because so many new people are coming in, and I still see those questions everywhere. What to do with my token?
And I guess Trent, I'll invite Trent and Ben to join me in this. And I'll start with the mainnet question. What do people who are actually on the Fetch mainnet, what do they need to do? How is this going to go? If you are holding token on Fetch mainnet, we're in the process of running a testnet, and we're going to upgrade this into ASI mainnet. You do not need to do at this point anything.
Let me chime in here real quick. You don't need to do at this point anything if you hold your tokens on the Fetch mainnet. So I believe that's a Cosmos chain, right? If you hold them on your wallet there, wherever, you don't need to do anything at this point. And not just at this point, you do not need to do anything at all, which he will also say briefly.
Once the network is upgraded, which validators will participate in, your tokens will be converted. Your wallet addresses will become ASI wallet addresses instead of Fetch wallet addresses. And you'll just be able to, after the upgrade, you'll be able to access your tokens in the very same way. The second question, perhaps related to this, is how do you, if you want to convert tokens either from Ethereum to the mainnet or mainnet to Ethereum, there will be bridges which would operate in the same way as they do today. So there's no change, just the upgrade will happen, and then you'll be able to convert the tokens from ASI mainnet to ASI Ethereum contract. And we will provide you all the information regarding that. The last point, if you're on Fetch mainnet, you will become ASI mainnet. Any integrations we have with exchanges will happen, and we'll keep you posted of the time. So anything where we were integrated with the exchanges will continue to be the same. As I said, timeline, we will keep you updated, and hopefully we expect and hope that this will be within the 15th of July. And again, we will let you know exactly the dates and times when updates are happening, the upgrades are happening, and we keep you posted.
All right. Yep. So timeline, obviously, they will keep us posted on the exact timelines. For now, it's the 15th of July. As we all know, on Binance, already on the 5th of July, which is amazing. But still, when it comes to certain integrations with the exchanges, not necessarily the merger, but other integrations of the former Fetch token and then the ASI token, maybe exchanges will have their own timelines. It will all happen. It will all happen in due time. The merger on the 15th. But for anything specific, I'm not specifically into all the ins and outs of the Fetch token because I'm an AGIX holder. But yeah, they will keep you posted, and obviously I will keep you posted on all the important stuff as well. And again, if you hold your FET on the mainnet, you will not have to do anything ever. It will just be renamed from FET mainnet to ASI mainnet, and your FET tokens will become ASI tokens. This is because, again, the FET token becomes a hard fork, gets a hard fork, and then you have ASI tokens instead of FET tokens. And then the AGIX and the Ocean tokens are migrating over to the FET hard fork. So this is why you need to exchange your AGIX and your Ocean tokens into ASI. And of course, your FET tokens if you have them on Ethereum, because Ethereum is not the same as a FET mainnet, obviously. Alrighty. Yeah, thank you, Robert. It's not that big of a sacrifice, right? I would have loved to watch the second half because in Germany we love soccer, we love football, right? The right football, and it's European Championship, national team championship. But it's just the pre-games, basically. So they are not that, I mean, they're interesting to watch, but also not that big. If it would be the final or something like that, I maybe wouldn't have the stream today. But yeah, I still also very much enjoy hanging out with all of you here, especially when I see my people showing up. All right, and in which story did I want to go in next? Oh yeah, this brief thing here. Staying with the integration questions. Another question that I often get is, hey, what is going to happen with AGIX on Cardano? And here, as Ben Goertel said, Ben Goertel discussed AGIX migration to ASI on Cardano. My God, somebody needs to go and tell SingularityNet that using hashtags on Twitter, on X is very outdated, and using hashtags in the flow text that you write is horrible and has always been horrible because it's just so annoying to read. If you must use hashtags, but hashtags are really outdated, use them below here, but not in the text when you read it. This is just bad practice. It's really horrible to read. but anyway, discussed AGIX migration to ASI on Cardano and the latest development of our three-way token merger with decentralized AI, industry leaders, Ocean Protocol, and Fetch AI. So again, listen to the X-Space. This is very good. But I give you all the updates in a nutshell. So he also said it here, migrate AGIX on Cardano into ASI without exiting the Cardano universe will happen. Right? They are building this conversion bridge. It will be later. It will be later than the 15th of July. The 15th of July or the 5th of July, respectively, for Binance, obviously. And then the 15th of July is just for tokens on the ERC20 mainnet, right? Just for tokens on Ethereum. Or, of course, if you hold your tokens on an exchange. But if you hold your tokens on Cardano or wherever, it will be later. Immigration contract will come, but later. So you don't have to swap them, bridge them to Ethereum, migrate, and then switch them back. You can do that, but you can just wait on Cardano. It will come later. Another important thing here is the migration swap contracts will be open for a long period of time. Probably not indefinitely, right? They cannot make sure that it's really going to run for the next 200 years, but probably for the next 40 years, 30 years, 50 years. So you are not in a rush to migrate, okay? They will be live for a long period of time, so there's no need to rush. Also, if you know, say, I hold my tokens on Ethereum, and swapping has very high gas fees. And I am a long-term holder anyway, because I fundamentally believe in the project and in the need for humanity of developing beneficial AGI for all of us. And I believe that this is the best path for humanity forward. And this is actually something I fully believe in, like we all on this channel do, obviously. You can really take your time with migrating. You can migrate when the gas fees are lower. And if that is in 1 year, you can wait 1 year or 2 years, whatever that is. Now, obviously, then probably will not be the peak of the bull run, so you will have to hold for a long time. But yeah, you really can take your time with the migration. Okay. And for everybody joining again, Binance is migrating on the 5th already. Spearheading the migration, but going into the next snippet of the space that I again really recommend you to listen to, from Ben Goertzel here this time. And he talks about AGI and the chance of the ASI Alliance reaching AGI before big tech.
Current LLMs with minor modifications are the route to AGI. Then OpenAI or Google or Tencent will probably win. Now, I don't think that.
No, again, note this here. If LLMs and scaling LLMs bigger and bigger and bigger are actually a possible route to AGI, big tech will probably win, because they just threw all their money at LLMs and they are very far ahead. Obviously, SingularityNet is also developing their own LLMs. I'll talk about the state of that a little bit later on, but they are very far ahead of that. Now yet, Ben Goertzel and many people, including people at big tech, don't believe that LLMs are a path to AGI.
That's the case, and not even everyone at big tech thinks that's the case, right? Like Jan LeCun at Facebook famously doesn't think that's the case. So if there's a bit more R&D and experimentation to do, and the current LLMs that are most popular are significant progress, but they're not yet the architecture that's really going to yield AGI, I mean, then I think we're in a very good position, because we're an organization that's more capable of, flexible experimentation and with connecting together new things in new ways. And as Trent said, Bitcoin is the world's biggest supercomputer. So I mean, we have data on the internet, we have decentralized compute power.
This is so crucial to understand, because this is also such a big opportunity for decentralized AI development. Let me recap that. Bitcoin is the biggest supercomputer in the world. Why is that? Because Bitcoin mining needs a lot of compute. And people are incentivized to mine Bitcoin with Bitcoin, and Bitcoin brings them money. So you can see how incentivizing people with tokens that bring money brings together the biggest computational resources on the entire planet. And this is what the ASI Alliance will also do for AI development. BitTensor, by the way, also. And the ASI Alliance in the form of NuNet. Now, the great thing is that for NuNet to give compute to the decentralized development of AI and gain NuNet tokens and have monetary incentive, you don't need a giant supercomputer farm. Of course, you can have that. And this is also being built. So we have a lot more compute, and they get obviously a lot more tokens, but you also can get tokens with just your laptop or smartphone. If you know Honeygain or anything like that, this is basically a small app that you can run on your laptop, and it shares your internet data, a little bit of it. And I believe NuNet will be very similar, that when your smartphone just lays there and it's not being used, it's not busy, it can just rent out the compute to run processes for AI. That is for AI requests or queries that are being told to whatever model is put out to Hyperon. So this is really a huge, huge chance, and really shows, Bitcoin being the biggest supercomputer really shows how much untapped potential there is in the world. And even if now Microsoft announces together with OpenAI to build a 100 billion server farm, $100 billion server farm, think about that, $100 billion, we still probably have more potential because the entire world can rent out their compute for tokens to the ASI Alliance, to Nunet, and by this push the development of decentralized AGI. So yeah, if we work together and if we believe in the vision, we can actually make this work.
And we've got the ability to rapidly experiment with a lot of different ideas. So I think that the answer to your question sort of depends on whether you think you can get to AGI just by tweaking what big tech is now doing. If that's the case, honestly, they've probably won. I don't think it is the case. So then I think we're in an outstanding position.
Now, another important thing that he said here is that they have a lot more, they can do a lot more things a lot quicker. Right? There's a lot more room for innovation and to implement new things because big tech companies have longer ways. With decentralized development, first of all, it's very flexible because we have Singularity Net, we have Fetch AI, we have Ocean, and they are working on their own things, but are still integrated with one another. So it's very flexible to test a lot of things, which is something that big tech cannot do. So this is another big plus. By the way, it's the same for BitTensor. Again, watch the BitTensor video I've been doing. BitTensor works kind of the same as BitTensor will have different subnets, and all these subnets will have their own AI bots developed. Right? They will have their own AI services developed within them, and then they can cross-communicate with one another. This is basically the equivalent to having Ocean, Fetch, and Singularity Net all communicating with one another. Not quite, but kind of a little bit. So decentralized AI, AGI development really has an outstanding opportunity here, especially when it comes to all the decentralized compute data. We really have an outstanding opportunity. Now the ball is into their hands. They need to roll out these things relatively soon, and they need to take care of good marketing, which is also what I am trying to do here. What I'm doing here is essentially kind of marketing in a way to push decentralized AI development, right? It's kind of like that, but we all hope that bigger influencers will talk about that, so that more and more people join, and that more and more compute and data and all of that will decentralized, be distributed to the decentralized AI developing processes. And like this, the decentralized AI development gets ahead more and more and can speed up faster and faster and faster, and hopefully wins the race to AGI. And by the way, when it comes to AGI, I will have a video with a realistic timeline when to expect AGI out for you by next week, Tuesday. All right. All right, guys, what is going on with all of you? I think the summer is starting and it's getting a little bit quieter, right? The stories are not that big anymore. I have still quite a few more stories that I want to go through, but it also seems like people are now not that interested anymore. Or how do you feel? I feel like engagement just in general, not just here, but just with many things that I see also with the Telegram group on X and with other videos I see, engagement has dropped a little bit. Do you think this is because, actually let me make a poll here. Do you think this is because of the delay, or do you think that is because just summertime and people are busy with other stuff? Let me make a poll here. right. So yeah, let me know what you think. Do you think it's because of late merger or because summertime has started? I think it's, I personally would think it's probably because of summertime, because it feels like engagement has dropped across many different channels, not just for ASI Live, but also other cryptocurrencies and AI in general. So probably because of summertime. But let me know your thoughts. Hi there, Shiab. Great to see you here. I believe for the first time in the live chat. Shout out to you. Also, Robert Nathan. I'm not sure if I've seen you before. I'm sorry if I did. I think I saw you today in my comments, didn't I? But now for the first time in the live chat, I believe. So shout out to you. And for everybody joining, 11 people here, great to have you here. I talked about it in the beginning. Binance will merge ASI already on the 5th, right? Because the technicals, the fundamentals are all done. They are ready to go. So Binance can spearhead this merger 10 days before the actual merger is going to happen, which is amazing, which is hugely bullish, and which shows how much Binance believes in the strength of the ASI token, which is great. And maybe not a punch, but maybe a shaking up and waking up all the whiners. Oh, the delay is so bad and you look like amateurs. No, really not. Really not. No one really cares, despite a few loud voices who cry. Otherwise, Binance would not spearhead this merger on the 15th. Okay. Moving on here into this next story here, which is also a very, very cool one. So you all know hopefully about Meta. Meta is one of the main things of Hyperon, and Hyperon is the AGI approach. Hyperon is the ASI, AI AGI that is developed by SingularityNet and by the ASI Alliance. And Meta is a huge part of this. It is basically the programming language of Hyperon. We will not talk too much about programming languages, don't worry. I am not a programmer, I'm not a coder, so I have no idea anyway, but this is still very interesting here. Meta in a nutshell, exploring the language of AGI. A few very important things, or very interesting things here. Unlike traditional languages, Meta allows for concise expression of knowledge and logic through its unique constructs. A few things here. One thing that I find most impressive is the self-reflective. Meta programs can generate and manipulate other meta programs at runtime. And this is so cool. Read that again. Meta programs can generate and manipulate other meta programs at runtime, adding a level of dynamism not commonly found in other languages. And they enable powerful querying and reasoning capabilities. Meta is designed to support the development of artificial general intelligence, AGI, by providing a robust framework for representing, my God, my English is getting worse as I am talking more, representing and reasoning about knowledge. The main purpose of Meta in AGI is to facilitate the creation of systems that can understand, learn, and reason about the world in a human-like manner. And this is crucial because current LLMs, they cannot do that. Current LLMs are just question-answering systems. They are not reasoning about the world in a human-like manner because they don't even understand really what the world is. They don't have an internal representation of the world or a concept of what the world actually is. With Meta, this will be enabled for the AGI approach for SingularityNet's OpenCog Hyperon. So, a few things here. Knowledge representation. It represents diverse types of knowledge, from sensory data to abstract concepts. Also, reasoning. It can reasoning over the knowledge base. So it has its own knowledge base, and it doesn't just talk about its knowledge base like LLMs do. They just bring out their knowledge base. This is why you can get seemingly contradicting opinions out of an LLM, because they just have their knowledge base and then they put out whatever is there in their knowledge base. Now, with Meta, it will be possible that the approach, that Hyperon reasons across its own knowledge base. So it also actually thinks about and reasons with the things that it already has in its knowledge base and already knows. So that's pretty cool. and self-modification, which is what we also talked about here, self-reflection, and this is so cool to me. Meta's ability to manipulate its own code at runtime is important for creating adaptive and self-improving systems. Think about that. Meta can manipulate itself, right? When it finds that a way it's doing something is inefficient, it can rewrite itself to do it more efficiently. Does that sound like a foundation an AGI system should have? Let's look at a human example. Let me think about what when you grow up, or let's say when our ancestors harvested, when our ancestors were hunter-gatherers, right? We are hunter-gatherers going around, we were gathering, we were hunting, and then going to the next location when the resources were not there anymore. We needed more resources. And at one point we thought about, gathering is a little bit inefficient. How about we just take the seeds and plant the plants for ourselves, and then we have them here. It's way more efficient, and we can make sure we have the resources that we need right here. So they found a more efficient way of doing things. This is just an example for humans. Obviously, Meta, it will look different, but with Meta, the AGI system, OpenCog Hyperon, can also do that, theoretically. It can think about, wait, the way I am doing this right now is inefficient. I could do it a better way. Why don't I just do it like this? And this is one of the most impressive things to me. And again, I am not a coder. If anyone here is a coder, please join my Discord by clicking the link in the description down below. And everybody else, you're more than welcome to join my Discord to talk about decentralized AI development, blockchain, crypto tokens, trading if you want. But yeah, I would really love to understand how that actually works. Good. Yeah, but this is just so cool to me. Ability to manipulate its own code at runtime is important for creating adaptive and self-improving systems. And yeah, just amazing. While Meta provides a powerful framework for representing and reasoning about knowledge, the development of a truly intelligent system requires more than just logical reasoning. Intelligence in a real-world context also relies on experience and memory, which are essential for learning from experience. This requires mechanisms for storing, retrieving, and learning from historical data. So these are also things that are being worked on. What do you think about this approach? Does it sound so cool to me like it sounds so cool to you like it sounds to me? I am really more than excited about Hyperon. Did they release anything on merge contracts? You mean future contracts, or you mean normal spot contracts? Vivek. So future contracts will be, I can tell you what will happen on Binance. What was it, on the 25th this month? Future contracts will be closed. And on the 1st, AGIX, Ocean, and Fetch will be not tradable anymore. And then on the 1st, and then on the 5th, they will merge into ASI. 10 days before the actual merger happens, spearheading the merger and giving everyone on Binance a head start, which is extremely bullish to me, shows how much Binance, the biggest exchange in crypto, believes in this merger, how significant this merger is. For the other exchanges, I am not sure. I know the merger is going to happen on the 15th, but I am not sure about the timelines for the exchanges there, when they will discontinue the future contract, when other trading will stop. I will keep you updated on that. Probably I will have more info in the next couple of weeks. So stick with me and you'll get the info, or just follow the updates of the exchanges. Let me take a brief look into the poll here. All right, most people think it's because of the delayed merger, not because of the summertime, okay? I'm not sure about that. I mean, maybe, but when I look at the Telegram and the videos and things like that, of course, there have been a few very vocal voices that have been very upset, but this is usually what you see. You always need to think about that the broad majority never says anything. They are just quiet readers or quiet watchers, and I see you. I know you, yes, exactly you are also a quiet watcher here on my channel. And I know I will probably never directly communicate with you. I know that you just watch me quietly and you will never type into your keyboard and say, hi, Philip, and I will never say hi, name back to you. And that's okay, because I know most people are just quiet observers. I still highly appreciate you. And I know it's the same for the ASI Alliance. So while there are a few very vocal voices, very upset about the merger, most people are way more laid back. And this is also what my polls have shown. The polls on this channel, now my channel, of course, is maybe not representative because we are a very great community here who all believe in the fundamentals, but the polls still nonetheless have shown a broad majority, about 80% say, yes, they are maybe slightly annoyed or they are completely calm and chilled about it, right? Across 80%. So you really see a big majority doesn't really care that much of the delay, because in the end it doesn't matter if it trades last month, next month, or 4 months from now. Nothing changes. The exchange rates are fixed. The bull run hasn't even started really yet, so nothing really changes. Really, just the important thing is that they get it right and that everything works out. Good. Let's move on here with further update from SingularityNet. Every month they have an update video, and I'll talk about this from now on because there are always a few very, very interesting things in there. So I have marked the 3 most important parts here that I want to show you. First of all, they had their meetup in Istanbul where they discussed with people from SingularityNet, NewNet, Hypercycle, and all of that, discussed together how things are going further. And this was very interesting here from Matt.
It felt that it wasn't actually the case, but it was like all of us would be locked in a room, the key thrown away until we finally came to some decisions. We were hammering out the architecture to really make use of hypercycle computation nodes, to leverage the most we can get out of this within the SingularityNet, NewNet integration with Hypercycle.
And this is so extremely cool to me because you really see how they start pushing this. The integration of SingularityNet Hyperon with NewNet and Hypercycle is probably the biggest thing right now. When this is done, I believe everything will accelerate a lot. Obviously, there are a lot more cool things than the integration with Fetch and Ocean and all of that. But this is still incredibly, incredibly cool to me because when this is done, you need to think about when this is done, the integration, and we'll talk a bit more about what Hypercycle actually means and what it does. But when this integration is done, it will be really a huge, huge milestone.
It was, I came away with newfound respect for our entire team. We have I was blown away by brilliance all around. It was quite an intense and exciting event. And what better place for it to take place than kind of the crossroads of East meets West?
Yeah. So you really hear how positive he is about the whole thing, about the team, about the work together, about the brilliance of the whole project. So for me, this is incredibly, incredibly positive and gets me really, really, really damn excited about Hyperon and the future developments there. Now, this year was also very, very interesting because what we just talked about earlier is what do we need? We need compute, and we need a lot of it. NewNet will be there for that, but we'll also have big supercomputer farms for the AGI development. And this is what Sergey has talked about.
To run and to bring the most like AGI-ish, more mature narrow symbolic setups. We combine different compute powers. So there are massive GPU deployment, the latest GPUs, which has only get into production. So last generation and the most advanced models, and we're getting them on a really, really, really good cost.
So that's pretty cool. As you just heard, the latest, newest state-of-the-art, basically GPUs that are just getting produced, and they are getting them at a really, really good price. So perfect for the acceleration of Hyperon and AGI development.
We had beautiful negotiations with the manufacturers, and we are getting into deeper partnership with several parties, major manufacturers, to go deeper into AGI supercomputing design and even AGI dedicated chip design. So that's really interesting and intriguing, and that's one of the most beautiful disruptive technical topics we handle.
So yeah, as you can hear, they are in great conversations with huge big players for ASI supercomputer design. Cheap ASI supercomputer design. So something that I already said a couple of weeks ago, it's really coming together. And you can see how they are working on securing compute more and more everywhere, because let's face it, yes, more slower and all of that, but compute is still quite important for the development of artificial intelligence. And NuNet will be great, but we also need these big server farms, and they are working on that, which is fantastic to see and hear. So everything is coming together more and more. Now, another thing that I want to talk about and show you here is the deep funding, which is, I think voting is now over. I hope you looked into a few projects, but he talks about the development of deep funding. What's his name here? Let me have a brief look, because I've seen him for the first time in this. Jan talks about the development, how deep funding has developed over the last rounds. And it's really great to see how more and more people come into the community.
Hello everybody, my name is Jan Horlings and it's my pleasure to tell you a little bit about deep funding. And while we were recording this, deep funding round 4 is at its voting stage, and we had a great round behind us. So in terms of number, if you look at the progress of deep funding, in deep funding round 1 we had 28 eligible proposals, and in deep funding round 2 that doubled to 57. In deep funding round 3 we had 117 eligible proposals, and now in deep funding round 4, out of 210 submissions, we collected 192 proposals. So that's
Yeah, as you said, it's mind-blowing. You can really see how huge this number has gone up. It's incredible.
Blowing, and we're growing like crazy in deep funding, at least where quantity is concerned. And related to quality, for the first time, we did the process of expert reviews, also in the scale and the way that we did it in this round.
And this was very good for me, because especially if you have so many projects, you cannot look through them all. But since it's expert reviewed, you can look at all the expert reviewed ones, which is what I did. I looked at all the expert reviewed ones and a few that had presentations maybe. But yeah, this is a very great process.
That we had 47 community members, community experts, that first individually rated all between 10 and 20 proposals anonymously, and we put them into 11 teams, and after the individual review, they reviewed all these proposals together and shared their insights, and then decided which of these proposals would actually be recommended by them.
All right, just briefly about the expert review process, which I really love. All right, I highly recommend you watch the whole video here. You can find it on the SingularityNet YouTube channel. It's here, the last Inside SingularityNet June 2024. They do this every month, where they give a rundown of every project and everything that's going on. There's also updates on NuNet, Hypercycle, the community, Twin Protocol, Rejuve project. Not Sophiaverse, though, this time not Sophiaverse, but yeah, it's really worth watching. All right. But yeah, talking about the Hypercycle, NuNet and integration and all of that, let's get into this here. Ben Gertl talks a little about Hypercycle here.
Stuff where you're interleaving blockchain and AI at a more fine-grained level. This is why we really need Hyperon and Hypercycle to work together closely.
So yeah, talking about why Hypercycle is really needed. Of course, I can already run and he'll say that briefly, already run decentralized AI on Ethereum Cardano. But Hypercycle is really, really needed because it's much cheaper and faster.
And I mean, it's why we need Toda and Hypercycle in the first place, because with Singularity Net, I mean, we're already doing decentralized AI, right? I mean, we can take Hyperon instances right now, we can put them on different machines and we can coordinate them with Singularity Net. And I mean, it works. It's certainly way better than deploying it all on AWS or on Google's compute cloud. On the other hand, there's a lot you can get with Hypercycle that you don't get that way, right? So you can't scale down to having very small AI agents do operations on chain, because if you're using Ethereum or even Cardano, which is better than Ethereum, if you're using these networks, the blockchain interactions are still slower and more expensive. You also don't have smart contract language that can pass multi-party security or homomorphic encryption or
yeah, the really most important thing here is if you use Ethereum, you cannot have small transactions on chain. What that means is if you have just a query, let's say if you have a query to ChatGPT and make a prompt and just say, ChatGPT, what do cats eat? I don't know, whatever it is. Then this cannot run on Ethereum. Can you imagine paying gas fees just for asking what does a cat eat? This is why we need Hypercycle. Because with Hypercycle, this can be done at almost zero cost, and it's still on chain, on a blockchain. Watch my Hypercycle video if you want to know how Hypercycle works, because it's a really great concept of decentralized nodes that come together and then split up very fast, can have millions of transactions per second. It's really, really cool. So if you don't know how Hypercycle works and want to know, watch my video. On another side note here, what I just realized, do you think that she looks a little bit like Crypto Wendy? Or am I crazy here? Give me a second here. A little bit, doesn't she? Just a little bit. I mean, not 100%, but a little bit. If you know Crypto Wendy, but let me. I don't know if I can show it to you both, but here we go. This is Wendy, right? And now let's go back to her. Sorry guys if I annoy you with this, but do you think she looks a little bit like Crypto Wendy? Maybe she is her lost twin, or maybe it's just the angle. Okay, but anyway, let's move on here with something completely different in the words of Monty Python. Coming to something completely different. Right. We also want to get to, but this here is still very, very interesting here as well. So I just play you what he says first, and then I read what Ben Gertz said about this. So Geoffrey Hinton is a very, very well established long name in AI development. And he talks about the dangers, if it loads, the dangers of AI models and what could go wrong and why we need, quote unquote, need control if it loads here. If it doesn't load, well, I cannot show it to you. But that's okay. I can just say what he says basically. He says, or maybe I can reduce the quality and then it loads. He talks about how AI, okay, now it loads.
Evolve. Be very crying, just crying.
Because it's a good, interesting point, but yeah, we want to talk about this a bit.
For the mother, things like that. But basically, less intelligent things do not control more intelligent things. Now, some people think these kind of intelligences we're making will be very different from us because they didn't evolve. My friend Yann LeCun thinks it's perfectly safe. We'll always be in control because we built them. I don't really believe that. How come? Well, we're going to make agents of them. People are already doing that. Things that can act. And if you want to make an effective agent, it has to be able to create sub-goals. So, for example, if you want to get to Europe, you have a sub-goal of getting to the airport. And you created that sub-goal because that's the obvious way to get to Europe. Now, there's some once you give something the ability to create sub-goals, there's some fairly obvious sub-goals it will create, like if it wants to get anything done, the things you asked it to do, it'll be easier for it to do it if it gets more control. And so it will create the sub-goal of getting more control. It could still be benevolent, but that's already a bit worrying. It's also the case that when you have intelligent agents, you'll want to build in self-preservation. You want them to not sort of destroy themselves. And you want them to sort of watch out for things that could make them not work, like data centers going down. And so already you've got self-preservation that's probably going to be wired in various programs.
Right, this is basically what he said. So to sum it up, if you have an intelligent system and you give it a task, go to Europe, there are sub-goals involved, like go to the airport, book a flight or whatever. These are sub-goals, and you have sub-goals on large scales, and these sub-goals can lead to the agent harming something and getting out of control. Now, this is valid, and this is obviously an interesting point, and we need to think about that. But I would question the fundamental assumption here that he starts upon, because it starts with the assumption, if we go back to what he said first, he starts with the assumption less intelligent systems normally don't control more intelligent systems, and we will not be in control of AI, AGI. Okay, great. But why do we even need to talk about control here? Why? It's just such a human thing, such a human way to think in. It needs to be controlled, and there needs to be control, and if we don't control them, they would control us. Why? Why would they? Or why would we? And what are we trying to do here with building AGI? Let's face it, what we truly trying to do with building AGI is basically creating another form of life. This is basically what we are trying to do here with creating AGI. We are trying to create another form of life. So why does there at any stage need to be control involved? Why cannot we be us and the developed AGI be the developed AGI, and then we just work together? Why does there need to be control involved? Just because people say so? For me, this is just such a human way to think. And it's so, I feel like many of these scientists who have been this for so long, they never question their underlying assumptions, which is what you always should be doing. Now, of course, we need to think about all of these things, but still, we also need to go beyond that and question these assumptions that these people are making, which I don't quite follow all of the time, because it's not clear to me that if we develop an AGI that has been developed very beneficial, like in a decentralized way, especially where it has a lot of input, many different opinions, that for some reason it then gets violent and starts being bad for people and starts hurting people, doesn't make sense to me at all, or start controlling us. Because why would it, when it would make so much more sense to work together with us, for us and for itself as well, because just together we could do so much more good for both of us. So this underlying assumption of control is necessary in one direction or the other just doesn't make sense to me. Now up here's what Ben Goertzel said about it. Here, CEO Dr. Ben Goertzel, to my mind, trying to ban or constrain AI development at this point would be counterproductive and ridiculous. Banning or intentional throttling something with so much obvious potential for improving human life, as well as driving economic growth, seems like an absurd and doomed proposition. It seems to me the most useful things governments could do as regards AI right now would be, first, fund and promote massive scale education of the population regarding all aspects of AI. And this is really, really great here. We as people need to be properly educated of all the aspects. So many people don't really quite understand what an AI system even is, or what actually the dangers are. And the dangers at the moment are, we don't need to worry about an AI going rogue and being malicious. Not for a long time. Before that comes, we need to worry about a gazillion other things. that have all to do with other humans misusing the AI systems. This is what we really need to worry about. So this is why we definitely need a mass-scale education. And second, fund and promote the development of open source decentralized AI, aimed at broad human benefit rather than narrow corporate, military, or intelligence agency goals. Why decentralized development? Because decentralized development by its nature will have a more democratic approach, because you have a more diversity of opinions, and will also be safer, because when we look now at the board of OpenAI, where basically just people who want to make a profit sit in the safety board of OpenAI, which is a massive conflict of interest, because now you have people in a safety board. Safety is something that doesn't bring money and just costs money, and you have just people in the safety board that want to make money. What do you think safety will do? Not a lot. Safety will be widely disregarded. Obviously, I don't know the people, all of them, and it might be not, but it's just a conflict of interest there. Whereas when we develop AI in a decentralized way, we all can oversee that. Obviously, we don't all do that, but we all have the potential to oversee it, to vote on what is happening. And by its very nature of decentralization, the AI will not have any narrow goals or push any biases, but will just naturally be very open to a diverse set of opinions, very well reflected, and just generally have a broader, better view of humanity and humanity's viewpoints, which it then can align with. So decentralized development of AI seems like the best shot that we have for AI safety. Another aspect is, and this is also what Charles Hoskinson talks about, I've also made a video about that if you want to watch into that, that's the best shot we have at controlling if an AI really goes rogue. If an AI really goes rogue, the best shot that we have at controlling it are other AIs. And with that, ideally, a decentralized system of AIs that basically all communicate with one another and all control each other. So you have AIs or AGI systems that are very compassionate, ethical, have human morals and values. And then you have one AI that goes rogue or a little bit bad. You have all the other AIs in this decentralized developed system of AIs that then notice that and can either control that, because they're all in exchange with one another. So control is maybe the wrong word, but educate it, right? Or report on that, or stop it, or whatever it is. But the decentralized development of AI just seems like our best bet for all the issues. For the issues of humans abusing AI, for the issue of AI going rogue, for the issue of AI pushing narrow political goals and biases. Really, all of that, we are much better off with the decentralized development of AI as opposed to centralized development of AI and AGI systems. All right. By the way, if you're liking this video, if you're getting value out of it, it would be amazing if you could hit the like button, or maybe even give me a heart reaction or any other reaction. Every engagement helps this channel, helps me, helps spreading the word around decentralized AI and AGI to more people. So I highly appreciate every one of you doing that. Okay. Now let's get into the next thing here. It's just this very brief thing that I want to mention. There was a recent conversation between Dr. Ben Goertzel and Edward Snowden here. And I just want to mention that because I will make a dedicated video to that. I will make a dedicated video about this conversation where I dissect it in depth. So if you cannot wait, and if you think, man, a conversation between Edward Snowden and Ben Goertzel sounds freaking amazing, I want to point you to it. There's such a video, watch it. It's about 45 minutes. But if you can wait and you want the best of it, wait for the video that I make about it, because there I talk about the highlights basically, and break this conversation down. Just to bring that to your attention. All right. And then obviously, since we're talking about crypto tokens, another thing that I need to briefly mention today is that the SEC, and now we are diving into general crypto news, which are really not a lot, just this one here, nothing else. And after that, we'll dive into the Bitcoin price update, that the SEC is closing its investigation on Ethereum. It's now not a security for sure. Ethereum is not a security as of today. This means that the SEC will not bring charges alleging that sales of Ethereum are security transactions. Consensus further confirmed that the decision came after the US-based blockchain firm sent a letter to the regulator on June 7 and asking to confirm that the May Ethereum ETF approvals, which were premised on Ethereum being a commodity, premised on Ethereum being a commodity, meant the agency would close its Ethereum 2.0 investigation. My God, sorry about my English, I'm really losing it. So yeah, which is also interesting. Only after the letter they closed it, because Ethereum, now I forgot the name. I just read it and I forgot the name. Ethereum ETFs have been out for quite a while now. So Ethereum basically asked, hey, Ethereum ETFs out and saying Ethereum is a commodity. So would you like to close the investigation on Ethereum being a security now? And now the SEC has finally closed that. So the SEC obviously being stupid and losing on all fronts and just showing how incompetent they are all the time. For some reason, I don't know, it's just ridiculous with them. But yeah, it's now official. Ethereum is not a security, which is of course huge for the overall crypto and crypto space, and very bullish, because if Ethereum is not a security, probably no crypto token is a security. All right, good. Let me check the 60-40 now. That's great. 10 votes, 60% think delayed merger, and 40% think because of summertime. The hype and excitement around ASI has dropped a little bit. Well, I'm pretty sure the hype and excitement will rise again as soon as the merger happens on Binance. But we'll see. But I think the merger on Binance will be a big deal, a big catalyst for hype into the 15th. All right. And now let's go into BTC here. Let me put myself down here and let's look into that. And I'll tell you how it is, guys, but BTC has been boring for quite a while. I mean, it has pretty much done what I wanted it to do, but not really. I really wanted it to freak out. I'll show you where I wanted it to freak out. It came up, but it didn't freak out. And now I think we'll probably see sideways price action for a couple of more months. I think we'll probably see sideways price action for a couple of more months. So first of all, looking into our monthly here, we are still looking strong in our monthly. Pretty strong, actually. This looks very bullish to me. We have our monthly swing high right here, where we dipped into this fair value gap and then had a huge sharp shoot up. If we hold above this, above 56.5, above this swing high, we are very bullish. Now, if we should break below this at one point, we could come down all the way here to 24.8. This is our next monthly swing low. If we break this, I am abandoning Bitcoin because it's probably broken. If we break this, Bitcoin is probably broken. If we break this down here, it's broken for sure. If we break this, we are bearish. Now, if we break this down here, 15K, if we break this, Bitcoin is for sure broken. If we break this down here, bull run is over and we are done for now. So this is a long way, but it's also a long way till here. So as long as we don't break this swing low, I'm very bullish, and we are pretty bullish in our monthly time frame. Let's drop down into our weekly. And as we can see in our weekly, we came down to this weekly fair value gap here. And at first we just dipped into it. I will show you, we just dipped into it and then we shot up. And I took a long here. Again, everything I say, I have no idea what I'm talking about. This is not financial advice. It's insanely dangerous, especially trading. Leverage trading is very dangerous, especially if you don't know what you're doing. So don't do that. If you want education on that, join my Discord. We can talk about that further. But then again, I'm not that great of a trader. I'm trading a little bit. If you really want to dive into trading, join the Crypto Lifer. This is where I got all my trading stuff from. Good. Anyway, we dipped into this weekly fair value gap. And this is what I talked about last Wednesday. I talked about last Wednesday because we were dangling up here. I can see us going down here and then going down into our daily fair value gap. This here's our daily fair value gap, and this here's our weekly fair value gap. And we are now in our daily fair value gap, and we did not reach the midway point. Now this could be our low, our next weekly swing low for the next couple of weeks here. I would love that. But I would also not worry if we come down here to this candle here, just this one. I don't want us to break this one here. Again, this is the monthly that we just looked at. If we break this, we'll probably go down much further. As long as we're dangling around here, everything is looking great. Now, again, this is not unexpected, especially when you are watching my live streams regularly. You knew that I have been watching at this fair value gaps for quite some time now, for quite a while. Actually, since we came up here, I have been watching to these fair value gaps to be repriced. Now we are finally here. What I want to see now is a sharp rejection and a shoot up, especially since we have not crossed the midway point. From the midway point, we got a rejection and a shoot up again. I took another long here, by the way, and I'm in profits and waiting right now to have it raising a bit higher. I already took a partial, but yeah, this is what I'm seeing in the weekly. Let's drop down into a daily and dissect this a little bit more. And in the 15-minute, I will show you precisely things that I'm looking at. And so you can see here how in the weekly, first we dipped into this. We just dipped into this weekly fair value gap, and then we got a sharp shoot up. And this is when I made a community post. If you are a member, if you joined the members for $2.99 or something, by the way, shout out to all of my members. I highly appreciate you. Thank you for being here. Thank you for supporting me. It really means the world to me. And thanks to your support, I can keep pushing out this video. So thank you everybody who joins my community. But yeah, when we dip down here, I told you I am expecting or I'm seeing a sharp rejection. This is where I jump into a long, which I did. And we really saw a sharp rejection all the way up here. I wanted to see us freak out from here. After this just tiny dip, I really wanted to see us freak out, but we just freaked out a little bit. I wanted to see us freak out like crazy, like this. Did not happen. So this was telling me that Bitcoin will probably come to our daily fair value gap, and that will probably stay boring for quite a while, which it did. It came back down again. It dipped into our weekly fair value gap again. And then one thing that I am looking at, it created a double top here. This is this green box here. This green box tells me where is liquidity. Because what happens when we create a double top? The double top for traditional traders, is a bearish pattern. So they put in a short and their stop losses are right here. Stop loss means when the price comes back out here, they are stopped out of their position and they lose. So here are the stop losses. So that means up here is a lot of liquidity. Bitcoin will come back up here. Bitcoin always runs out liquidity. So this is why I have this green box here to have a bit of a good visual where I expect liquidity. Now, as you can see here, we dipped into our daily fair value gap and then we shot up again out of our daily fair value gap. But yeah, not as sharp as I would have liked to see. If we drop down into our 15-minute, we can see quite beautifully. I took my trade right around here somewhere. So I'm in profits right now, but I'm not. I have taken a small partial because I was up 100%. I always take a partial when I'm up 100%. But what I'm aiming for first is this green here. And as you can see, this is another double top. This here and this here is another double top. So up here is liquidity again. So this is another thing that I'm aiming for. Then we go up here. There's the double top that I talked about earlier. And if we go up even further, here we have another double top. And again, here is liquidity. Traders put stop losses here, and Bitcoin runs out stop losses. I can show you the reverse right now. This is hilarious. This was so funny to me when I saw that what actually happened. Now, what happened here is first, I believe in the 5-minute we can see it even better. Yeah, first we created this double bottom here. Do you see that? We created this double bottom here. What is a double bottom? Double bottom is a bullish pattern. So it tells traders to go long. So stop losses are here in this green box. And yes, it goes long, but many people, they still remain in their trades because they are too greedy. They expect it to go up higher. So their stop losses are still down here. So what does happen? Bitcoin comes down and it liquidates them. It comes back down into liquidity. It comes back down into liquidity, right? As you can see here, which was really amazing. And what so I jumped into another long down here because I knew, yes, liquidity, it will come back up. It created this double top here for us to run out at one point. But another thing that it did right here, as you can see, is it created, and we can see that in the 15-minute or maybe in the 1 hour. Yes, in the 1 hour, we can see it. It created with coming down here another double bottom, as you can see here, from all the way back here, or resistance. Maybe traders don't see this as a double bottom, but they see this as resistance because we have two touches, right? We have two touches, so this is resistance. It will hold, but it doesn't hold because this now is a place where people put in stop losses again, and there's liquidity down here. So what does happen? Yes, Bitcoin reverses from there briefly, as you can see here, but then it comes down again and it digs into the stop losses, into the liquidity. And again, if you want to learn this sort of trading, which is what I do, I'm not saying I'm an expert in this, I'm just saying this is what I do. Of course, you can join my Discord, but I highly, highly recommend you join Crypto Lifer if you want to join this, learn this sort of trading, because it's just a beautiful way to trade. So yeah, we run into the stop losses. I took another trade here. I already took a partial, and now we are ranging out. And right now we are creating a bull flag here. And I would expect this bull flag because we just run out the double bottom here, or the resistance. I would expect this one to bang to the upside. So higher, at least this first target, maybe even this second target up here, this one. But yeah, we'll see. I already have a winning trade. I already took my partial. This is the most important thing when trading. Don't be greedy. Don't forget to take profits. I already have a winning trade. I took my partial. My stop loss is in profits. So it's already won. Everything else is just a bonus. So we'll see what happens. But again, with what I am seeing and with how Bitcoin is reacting at the moment, I would think that Bitcoin will remain boring and sideways for the next couple of months. What Bitcoin is doing here right now, and just ties into what I just explained to you, is Bitcoin is creating liquidity. Because as you can see here, this is a line of resistance. Actually, let's make this beautiful with this one here. This is the line of resistance. So what is here at line of resistance? You can guess, stop losses. So here are stop losses. And every time Bitcoin touches this line, we create more stop losses. So I would not be... it would not surprise me if we come back up here, touch it, and then go back down here, touch it, come back down here, and be creating more and more liquidity up here for the next couple of months until finally, when the bull run really starts, we freak out to the upside. But first, what will happen is we will probably bink down, trick everyone into going short, and then freak out into onto the upside. Because when people go short, they maybe put their stop losses here, so we have even more liquidity, and this is how Bitcoin usually runs. But yeah, I would expect us now for the next... I really was hoping, man. I was hoping when we dip into this, we freak out, but we didn't. So I would expect us to range out for a few more months, creating more and more liquidity, and then freaking out, going bananas at one point in the next couple of months, but probably not soon-ish. And as you can, if you can see this, man, this is crazy. As you can see here, what do we have here? Another double top. So even more liquidity. Good. Yeah, again, this is your Bitcoin update. By the way, let me know in the chat, do you like these Bitcoin updates? Do you like when I do this kind of stuff? Or do you feel like, hey, whatever, it's not for me? Let me put a 1 into the chat right now if you like the Bitcoin updates. Put a 2 into the chat if you say, hey, I actually don't really care. I mean, I always do the Bitcoin update in the end because I see a few people jumping off because a few people are maybe not interested in that. So I suspect everybody in here probably likes it, but still. If you really don't like it, I can also leave it. But yeah, if you want to talk about trading much more on this kind of stuff, be sure to join my Discord. All right. Hi there, Judy. Hi there, Judy. You have been absent. you have been absent from this channel for I believe, at least one live stream. I was very, very hurt when I didn't see you in my last live stream. No, great to see you again here at the end of this live stream. I hope you're doing great. If you missed it, I'm sure you will probably watch the whole video because you like how I'm talking so much, and you want to give me watch time, so you'll probably watch the whole video, and you want to give the YouTube algorithm the signal that my videos are worth watching. But yeah, Binance will merge the tokens on the 5th. On the 5th of July, so 10 days before the merger of all other exchanges. So this is hugely bullish and shows how much Binance believes in the success of the ASI token. Yeah, I explained that a bit more in depth in the beginning, but I guess that's it from me for the live stream of today. Next week on Tuesday, I will have a video for you where I talk about a realistic timeline when we can expect AGI. So I would appreciate if you watch that, and also would appreciate if you watch the BitTensor video on my channel. Give it a like, maybe even a comment, give it watch time so the YouTube algorithm sees, hey, yes, this is a good video. Let's push it out to more people so more people learn about the importance of decentralized AI development. And with that being said, thank you so much for all of you. Thank you, everybody, for being here. I hope you have a great rest of your day, and I see all of you next Wednesday.